if feminists want the right to vote, right, then it should come with the draft.
Do you
And
think women should be
personally,
drafted into the army?
no.
Well, wait a second. Don't women do 100% of the birthing new people labor? That was originally the trade-off. The women were going to do 100% of the birthing new people labor, and the men were going to do 100% of the
Fighting,
safety and security
Right.
labor.
How is she so bad at this argument?
So what is, you say you're anti-feminism? Feminism was basically a mistake. So what is your problem with feminism? Let's start there. That's a good point, right?
I think that feminism wants equality when it benefits us and not actual equality.
Feminism, and that's, are you going back to the beginning of feminism? Like the whole history of feminism, like women's suffrage and everything?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You don't fuck with women's suffrage?
No.
Okay, so are you serious or are you kidding?
No, I'm serious.
Okay, so women shouldn't get, they shouldn't have the right to vote.
Yeah.
Why?
No. Because men are signed up for selective service, so they're fined $300,000 if they don't sign up for selective service when they're 18.
Do you think women should be drafted into the army?
I think if we want the same rights, it comes with the same responsibilities.
Do you think women should be drafted into the army?
No.
Okay, so
No,
then
that's my
there's a
point.
paradox
No, but that's
there.
my point. I'm saying, like, let's make it fair.
You don't believe.
How is she so bad at this argument?
Well, it is good that she's appealing to the Fairness Cheating Foundation because everybody understands fairness cheating. So the argument is grounded in something people are going to be emotionally resonant towards.
Yeah, but it's a stupid argument.
Well, I immediately thought, well, wait a second. Don't women do 100% of the birthing new people labor? I feel like that was originally the trade-off. The women were going to do 100% of the birthing new people labor, and the men were going to do 100% of the
fighting,
safety and security labor. That was like the trade-off. And I mean, no one's told me, but I'm assuming women are still doing 100% of the birthing labor.
Well, wait a minute. You transphobe, okay?
Look,
There's pregnant trans men out there.
The trans men are doing very little percentage of the birthing labor. So I'm just going to take the outliers out of the equation here.
Right. No, but you know what? That's a fantastic, you make a fantastic point here.
Yeah.
Because why is being in the military or the draft, why is that the criteria? Because it's kind of like a random arbitrary thing.
As long as you can pick the criteria, you can make up what fairness is.
Yeah, of course. Because you could say, okay, well, obviously you need to have a military to protect the borders and protect the country. Okay, fair enough. But you also need people to exist for the country.
You need something to protect.
Right. So you need people to kind of, increase and have babies. So why does that not count towards women? Yeah.
It's super unfair that men do 0% of the birthing.
True.
Labor.
Yeah. They just, listen, their contribution is just, it feels great. And then they're done. Very easy.
It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. What's up with that? It's not fair.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is your perfect world.
I'm saying that if we are going to vote, have the same cost, which is that men are put into selective service and women are not. And if I had to pick between the two, then I would give up the right to vote instead of sign up for selective service.
Okay, so you're saying women should only get the right to vote if they sign up for selective service, but at the same time, you're saying women should not serve in the military. So in your world, women are just going to be disenfranchised because they're not going to be able to sign. They shouldn't serve in the military because they're not as good fighters, right?
No, I'm saying for me personally, I would not want to sign up for selective service if I had to pick.
So
I would give that up.
You think women should be given the choice if they want to do selective service or not?
How is this like her position? This is like the worst position.
She doesn't even know her position. Look,
oh my God.
She doesn't have a position.
Women should be able to vote because they don't have to join the selective service / draft.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, do you think women should actually be in the military? No. So you just don't want women to vote? Well, it's like there's no well there. Okay, what the fuck? Like, how is this a position? Either just own it or acknowledge it's stupid. Like,
I want to
have a
ask
better
her what
position.
I want to ask her, because this is the illuminating question here.
Right.
What do you think society will look like if women are not allowed to vote?
Oh, it'll be so much better.
Yeah, she's going to
just
come up with
feel
some
it'll be so much
utopia,
better.
right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's going to be
So much
utopia.
better. Yes. We'll go back to like the 1950s. Everything will be perfect
Yeah.
for some magical reason.
I just have a completely different worldview here.
Well, it's funny because when I was listening to this, I was like, Adam, Mr. Give everyone the votes. Like, oh god.
Yeah, this bugs me because it's so authoritarian. It's like, look,
Yes,
let me
obviously.
make the decisions for society because
Right.
I'm the fucking genius.
Mhm.
It's bizarre to me. It's completely
Well, but
bizarre
and
to
why
me.
should it be? And why should it like? And I think what you said was very prescient. It's like
Mhm.
if you get to create the criteria, anything can be fair to you, right?
Of course, yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, but why is it being in the military? Why is it not owning land, right?
But how do we create the criteria? Through voting, through decision making.
I think if we're going to vote, we should have no choice like the men do.
So women should be drafted mandatory into selective service, you believe?
No.
I got a better solution for you, Pearl. How about this? Women should have mandatory baby service that every woman has to have a baby before she's 25. How about that?
I
In order-
don't know if I agree with it.
In order to be able to vote, look, I'm crafting a policy here that she should find utopian.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Men
Right.
sign up for selective service, and that's how they
Right.
get the vote. And women have a baby by the time they're 25, and that's how they get the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they have to be married and have a baby. How about that?
Right.
There you go. There's your utopia. Look, they can pick whoever they want to marry. It's not like it's authoritarianism or anything.
Well, also her argument is actually like it might be a good emotional argument, but it's a terrible logical argument. Because you're right, she's trying to appeal to fairness, but like, she hasn't given a logical link or a philosophical link. You can give one, obviously. There's arguments you can give, but she hasn't given one in this conversation linking why having the sign up for selective services entails the right to vote.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and they kind of touch on skin in the game, and I'm like, women don't have skin in the game. Women don't want a safe, clean environment, a low crime, good school, clean water environment. They don't have skin in the game. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, women usually have more skin in the game. If you're going to look at it from a purely evolutionary perspective, women generally have more skin in the game.
Right,
by
because
how they
they're
reproduce than men do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because being in a unsafe environment tends to hurt women and children more than it hurts men. So
Right. Well, and also because men can reproduce by spreading the seeds wide, and women can't. They have
run.
to. Yeah, they have to invest
Women don't
a lot
have
of resources into like one or two children.
Women don't have the fucking run strategy.
No, they generally don't.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, but don't you see the lot? There's an issue. There's a problem here.
I said, if feminists want the right to vote, right, then it should come with the draft. It should come. I mean, it's not called the draft anymore. It's called selective service. Personally, in Pearl's world, I do not want to be drafted. I do not want to be in selective service.
I know, but I'm
if I had
asking
to
you, like,
pick,
in general, in terms of policy,
Mhm.
because obviously I think it's safe to say women in general want the right to vote, right?
Mhm.
And so then, by your logic, women need to be entered into selective service,
Mhm.
right? But you don't think that should happen, or you think that's okay?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Not you. I mean, in general, the women, because women
Right.
want to vote. So how do we resolve this issue? Do they get drafted like men?
I mean, I think it's unlikely that women will ever have the right to vote taken away. So I guess moving forward, maybe net taxpayers potentially you could do, but that's
Sorry,
a whole
net taxpayers?
that's a whole nother conversation. But
Wait, what
no,
does
I
that
think
mean?
if we're gonna vote, I think that we should have the same responsibility as the men and be enlisted in selective service.
I don't want any of you poors voting. Okay.
Yeah, I know. She's just going all over the place here.
No poors allowed to vote.
She has no concept of why voting happens to begin with. So
I know.
I doubt she's voted a day in her life, to be honest with you.
Well, you're probably right. Isn't her? I think her.
She's in
her,
England.
She is. That's a good point. But I mean, she could theoretically, if she really wanted to, she could, vote with an overseas ballot or something.
Yeah, she's got rich parents, supposedly.
I was gonna
so.
say, aren't her parents like super wealthy?
I think so, yeah.
Um,
She's got like some 40-bedroom estate or something.
right. So it's kind of rich that a kid who grew up rich that didn't do anything to deserve the wealth is like, talking about like the poor shouldn't get the vote. It's like, oh, really? Okay.
Well, and the women.
Yeah, that's true. She doesn't. That's true. She's willing to throw her own vote away, but
The poor and the women can't vote. So only rich men get to vote.
right.
Okay.
So that's
So you're saying women should also have to sign up for selective service when they turn 18, like men.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're gonna be equal, make it equal.
Okay.
And for me, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. Keep me out of that.
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.